Okay, welcome to the fourth lesson. We're talking about measuring and converting lengths. So, I can convert between measures of length from metric to imperial and vice versa. So what I want you to be able to do today, I want you to be able to measure in metric or imperial, and I want you to be able to convert it to the corresponding or matching units. So before we go too far, let's talk about metric unit abbreviations. There's only a couple common ones that I want to worry about today. Centimeter, in no particular order. So we have centimeter, we use cm. Meter, we want just the m. And finally millimeter, and that's mm. All right. So within there, and this is something you should be familiar with, but I'm going to add this in just in case you're not. We start with millimeters. It's our smallest unit of measure. Then we can go to centimeters, and then we can go to meters. So just as a quick conversion, if you have millimeters and you can go to centimeters, you can divide, or you simply do divide by 10. If you have centimeters and you want meters, you divide by 100. And you're allowed decimals. Woohoo! There you go. And the reason we're allowed decimals again, imperial uses base 16. If you look here, we have multiples of 10, 100. This is one of the advantages to the metric system. So, everyone excited and happy. Let's go the other direction. Meters to centimeters, you're multiplying by 100. Centimeters to millimeters, multiplying by 10. So there you go. That's how you convert between our units. So here are some of the common conversions. You'll get this in your package, your handout. And we talked about some of these already. So we already talked about 1 foot is 12 inches, yards are 3 feet. Don't have to worry about mile, pound, quarter. So we're actually technically, we're not worried about the rest of these this year. That's in the grade 10 course. We start dealing with the other ones. On the other side here, you do need to know, there's your inches to centimeters, feet to meters, yards to meters, centimeters to inches. So we need to know all of these. Okay? So there we go. So we're going to do some conversions, practicing with some of the conversions as we run through here. All right, so we're going to convert the following to the indicated unit. So what you're going to see in the homework, you're going to see a question like this. Let's go from, we'll start off simple. Let's go 17 meters, and I want to go to yards. So how do you set this up? Well, in the previous unit, we talked about ratios and proportion. Guess what? We get to use ratios and proportion again. So we look at meters to yards. So we're down here, and we see that 1 meter is the same as 1.09 yards. So we set it up as a ratio. So 1 meter to 1.09 yards. And what's that going to equal? Well, what piece of information am I given? I'm given the 17, right? So we have, it's got to be meters to yards. The question tells you 17, so we need to determine the missing value here. So we're going to use the anchor chart that we had from the last unit. And if you remember, step 1 from the last unit, and I'll move it off to the side here, was to take the number that's by itself, so the 17, divide it by its corresponding value. So we're corresponding is meters and meters, so 17 divided by 1, 17. Second step is to take your answer from above and multiply it by the other number in the ratio, so that's the 1.09. So we simply plug that into the calculator, then we get 17 times 1.09, and we get 18.53. And there we go. So we are using the exact same skill that we did in the previous unit, and that's it. That's how conversions work. Set up as a proportion and solve the exact same way you did when we were solving word problems with proportions, when we were solving currency exchange with ratio and proportion. It's the same thing. So what happens if you want? Let's go with 300 centimeters, and I want to go to inches. 300 centimeters, and I want to go to inches. So we see, is there a ratio that goes centimeters to inches? And lo and behold, there we are. Well, we have this one. So you have two to choose from, and guess what? You cannot mess this up. You can't pick the wrong one as long as it has centimeters and inches. So it doesn't matter which one you want. I saw the 1 inch to 2.54 centimeters first, so let's do that. So the ratio would be 1, oh, I can't even remember, that's how long my memory is, 1 inch to 2.54 centimeters is equal to, well, it's going to be something in inches to something in centimeters. Looking at the question, what am I given? I'm given 300 centimeters, so the 300 will go in here, and I'm looking for the value on that blank there in the proportion. So we talked about this, and like I said, we had the anchor set up, we did the y, so you do the number that you have by itself, so that's the 300, you divide it by its corresponding value. So the corresponding value for centimeters is the 2.54. So that we're going to take 300, we're going to divide it by 2.54, and we end up with 118.11. Step 2 is to take your answer from 1, and multiply it by the remaining number. Now the nice thing here is the remaining number is just a 1, so it doesn't change the value. So 118.11 inches. So I'm not going to make you do the conversion to decimal 11. I'm going to let you keep it because it gets quite complicated when we're talking about 1/16 of an inch. So we're going to leave it at that for now. All right. I'll do another couple of examples here, and then I want to talk about measurement using the centimeter or the metric scale. So let's look at something that's not common. What happens if I want to go from inches? I guess you need a value though. So let's go 1,000 inches, and I want to go to meters. Now when you go look at your conversion table here, you'll find that we have inches, inches to centimeters, we have feet to meters, yards to meters, we have no inches to meters. So what do we have to do? Well, we do have this conversion right here. We have feet to meters. So it would be nice if we could get our question into feet. So looking at a previous conversion chart, you know that 1,000 meters, so I'll do this off to the side. How do you go 1,000 inches, how do you get it to feet? Well, you divide by 12. So you're looking back in your note, and you're looking at the conversion chart, you're looking at the anchor chart up at the side of the classroom here, and we find that 1,000 divided by 12 is 83.33 repeated, and that is in feet. And I'm allowing you to keep it in decimals when we're doing conversions. So really, this question isn't what's 1,000 inches in meters. This question is, so this question is really what is 83 decimal 3 repeated feet in meters. So we can then go to our conversion chart, and we see that back here, 1 foot is 0.305 meters. So 1 foot for every 0.305 meters. So there's our ratio. On the other side, I'm going to have feet to meters. What information am I given? Well, it's the 83.3 repeated. So that means I am looking for meters. So step 1, take the number that's by itself. So that's the 83.33. And we're going to divide it by its matching number on the other side. So we're going to divide by 1. So it's still 83.33. Step 2 is we take that value and we multiply it by the remaining number. And our remaining number is the 0.305. And what you get times 0.305, you end up with 25.42. And that's our answer. So 25.42, and you can have decimals in metric because decimal 42 just means 42 centimeters. Okay? So there we go. Those are our conversions from imperial to metric. Now I just want to talk about measuring with the metric system for one quick second. So as we flip over here, we've got a tree and a motorcycle. most of you should be fairly familiar, but we're going to just double check it. So we are looking at measuring with the metric ruler. So here's my metric ruler, and we got lots to borrow in the class here. So if I get the height of the tree in metric, if you're going to measure in centimeters, you're allowed to go into decimals. So I just want to remind you of the difference between the two. So what's the height of this tree? Well, it goes down to right here. Well, remember, there are 10 increments between the 5 and the 6. So that means you're going to be 5 decimal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the height is 5.8 centimeters, or 58 millimeters. So it's whatever you're reading it in. Okay? What's the width of this tree? So now you take your ruler, swing it sideways, look for the widest part of the tree. There it is there. So I would say the width of the tree goes from there to there. And you see that it's 3.123. So 3.3 centimeters, or 33 millimeters. Now you can't go any more accurate than 33 millimeters because our ruler only allows for that degree of accuracy. All right. So we made the motorcycle then. Just one last example. So we go from the back of the motorcycle to the front. So from there, that makes it easy. So I would say the width of this motorcycle is 4 centimeters, or that's supposed to be a 4, or 40 millimeters. And if we go the other direction, whoa, holy moly, whee! You're going to get dizzy watching this. Okay, so height of the motorcycle, I'm going to go right there. So it looks like 3.2, so height is 3.2 centimeters, or 32 millimeters. All right, so remember that you have increments of 10, all right? So there are 10 dashes for each centimeter. So there's going to be a bit of a challenge in this unit going back and forth and measuring with sixteenths. And here we're measuring by tenths, but you can go with decimals. Decimals do not work for the imperial system. Sorry to disappoint. That's the way that works. So we'll have some time to practice this. Good luck. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask.